Hello, English learners. Welcome to English in Advance. I am Jessica, your host for today, and it is such a pleasure to be here with you in your English learning journey. If this is your first time joining our community, I want to let you know that our goal here is to help you move beyond the basics and truly master the English language. We create new lessons every single day, each one designed to guide you, step by step, toward a more natural and confident fluency. In our session today, we are going to do so much more than just improve your English listening skills. We're going to transform the way you interact with the language itself. We are diving deep into a topic that is absolutely essential for every advanced learner: how to understand almost any English word you encounter without constantly feeling the need to stop and reach for a dictionary. This isn't a magic trick. It's a skill, a powerful mindset that you can develop with practice. Throughout our time together, you will learn the beautiful art of unlocking a word's meaning using the clues that surround it. You'll discover how to make intelligent guesses, just like native speakers do, and how to train your mind to see the hidden patterns that connect thousands of English words. Whether you are deeply engrossed in a novel, listening to a fascinating podcast, or simply having a relaxed conversation with a friend, the techniques we explore today will empower you to grow your vocabulary in a way that feels completely organic and intuitive. By the time we finish this podcast, my promise to you is that you will feel a new sense of confidence. You'll know how to approach unfamiliar words, not with fear, but with curiosity. You will have a clear path to continue expanding your vocabulary every single day, making your journey to fluency feel not like a chore, but like an exciting adventure. Before we begin this journey together, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel and press that little bell icon. That way, you'll always be notified when we release new lessons created especially for dedicated learners like you. So now, find a comfortable place, take a gentle, deep breath, relax your shoulders, and get ready to build your English vocabulary and your confidence with me, Jessica. Let's begin. When you first embark on the journey of learning a new language like English, the sheer number of words can feel like standing at the base of a gigantic, insurmountable mountain. There are literally hundreds of thousands of words, and the common belief is that you must memorize them all, one by one, through endless lists and dictionary drills. But I want to share a profound truth with you today. You absolutely do not need to learn every single word from a dictionary. In fact, relying solely on a dictionary can actually hinder your progress. It creates a mental habit of translation, a constant back and forth between English and your native language, which prevents your brain from learning to think directly and naturally in English. Today we are going to work together to cultivate a far more powerful and intuitive skill: the ability to understand any English word, even if you've never laid eyes on it before. We will do this not by memorization, but by using the incredible tools you already possess, your intelligence, your imagination, and the rich context that language always provides. Let's begin by painting a very simple picture in our minds. Imagine you are sitting in a cozy armchair reading a captivating short story in English. You're completely absorbed in the plot, connected to the characters, and then you stumble upon a word you don't recognize. The immediate, almost instinctive reaction for many learners is a small surge of panic. The flow is broken. You stop reading You instinctively reach for your phone and you quickly type the word into a translation app or an online dictionary. You see the definition, you nod, and you return to the story. But just a few paragraphs later, you realize you've already forgotten the word's meaning. Does this sound familiar? It happens because you didn't truly learn the word. You simply translated it. You found a temporary equivalent in your own language, but you didn't form a genuine connection with the word in its natural English environment. This is not how children learn their first language, and it is not the most effective way for you to achieve true fluency either. Instead, our goal today is to train your brain to react differently. We want it to remain calm, to become a detective, noticing the subtle clues hidden within the sentence, and to make intelligent, educated guesses that weave the new words seamlessly into the fabric of the story or conversation. Let's put this into practice right now, together. Imagine you are reading this sentence. She drew back the heavy curtains to let in the morning radiance. Now, let's suppose the word radiance is completely new to you. Instead of immediately stopping and looking it up, let's become detectives and examine the clues around it. We see the words curtains and morning. We know that people open curtains in the morning for a specific reason, to let in the light. The sentence structure suggests that radiance is the thing that is being let in. So you can make a very logical guess that radiance has something to do with light, perhaps a bright or beautiful light. And you would be absolutely correct. Radiance means a warm, glowing light. Do you see what just happened? You unlock the meaning without a single moment of translation. You use logic and context. Let's try another practice example together. Read this sentence slowly with me, perhaps even saying it aloud. The toddlers were chortling with glee as they chased the soap bubbles in the park. Now, the word chortling might be unfamiliar, but let's look at the scene it paints. We have toddlers, which are very young children. They are in a park chasing soap bubbles. And the sentence also mentions the word glee, which means great delight or happiness. This is a joyful, happy scene. Young children chasing bubbles are usually laughing and having fun. So, chortling must be a type of happy sound, a kind of joyful laugh. And once again, you have successfully understood the word without needing a dictionary. Your guess is spot on. Take a moment now and repeat that sentence after me, slowly and clearly. The toddlers were chortling with glee as they chased the soap bubbles in the park. Now, say it one more time. But as you do, try to actually imagine that happy, bubbly sound of children laughing. This simple act of visualization helps your brain to form a deep, lasting connection with the word's meaning. You see, words are not just combinations of letters on a page. They are living things, filled with feelings, images, actions, and emotions. When you connect a new word to a vivid experience in your mind, you don't need a dictionary to remember it. This is precisely why context is your single most valuable teacher on this journey to fluency. Now, let's extend this skill from reading into our everyday life situations. Imagine you walk into a bakery and you hear the person behind the counter ask a customer, "Would you like a scone to accompany your latte?" Perhaps the word accompany is new to you, but look at the situation, the environment. You're in a bakery. The customer has ordered a latte, which is a coffee drink. The baker is suggesting a scone, which is a type of pastry. The word accompany is being used to connect these two items. So it must mean something like to go with or to be paired with. And you've done it again. You've discovered the meaning just by observing the world around you. This is how language learning becomes a natural part of your life, not just a subject you study. Here's another real-life exercise for you to practice with me. Imagine you are watching a nature documentary. The narrator says with a sense of awe in their voice, "The view from the mountaintop was simply sublime." If the word sublime is new, don't pause the documentary. Instead, listen to the narrator's tone of voice. It's full of wonder and admiration. They are describing the view from a mountaintop, which is usually vast and beautiful. So sublime must mean something incredibly beautiful, awe-inspiring, or magnificent. Let's repeat that together. Sublime means magnificent and awe-inspiring. Now try saying the sentence out loud yourself. The view was simply sublime. As you say it, picture the most beautiful landscape you have ever seen in your mind. The key principle we are exploring here is that your brain is a far more powerful learning tool than you often give it credit for. It has a natural, innate ability to solve these small linguistic puzzles whenever you encounter a new word. Every single sentence provides you with a set of clues, like a detective uncovering evidence at a crime scene. And the more you consciously practice this skill, the more adept and quick your brain becomes at solving these mysteries. Let's do a quick mini exercise right now to test your growing detective skills. Listen carefully to this sentence. After the marathon, the runners were utterly depleted and could barely stand. Which word in that sentence might be new for you? Yes, it's likely the word depleted. Now let's think about the context. We have runners who have just finished a marathon, which is a very long and difficult race. The sentence says they could barely stand. What do people feel after such intense physical exertion? They feel completely empty of energy, incredibly tired. So depleted must mean that all of their energy has been used up. It means emptied or exhausted. Let's say it together. Depleted means completely emptied of energy. Fantastic work. This is the very essence of how you grow your vocabulary naturally and sustainably. Now let's build upon this foundation with some focused repetition practice. I'm going to give you a few more sentences, and for each one, I want you to actively try to guess the meaning of the new word. Please don't worry if your guess isn't perfectly precise. The act of guessing itself is what's important, as it trains your brain to engage with the language and to think critically in English. Are you ready? Let's begin. The first sentence is, "The old wooden bridge looked so frail that they were afraid to cross it." What could the word frail possibly mean? Let's think. We have an old wooden bridge and people are afraid to cross it. Why would they be afraid? Because they think it might break. So frail must mean weak, delicate, or easily broken. Let's say it together slowly. Frail means weak and easily broken. Excellent. Here's the next one. He tried to conceal the gift behind his back, but she saw it anyway. The new word here is conceal. Let's look at the situation. A gift behind his back, trying to prevent someone from seeing it. What is he doing? He is trying to hide it. So, conceal must mean to hide. Let's repeat that together. Conceal means to hide. Wonderful. Let's try one more. The garden was filled with fragrant blossoms after the spring rain. The new word is fragrant. Let's examine our clues. Garden, blossoms, which are flowers, and springtime. What quality do flowers often have, especially in the spring? They have a beautiful smell. So, fragrant must mean having a pleasant or sweet smell. Say it with me. Fragrant means having a pleasant smell. Each time you engage in an exercise like this, you are actively rewiring your brain. You are teaching it to break the old habit of immediate translation and to start a new, more effective habit of thinking directly in English. And the more you practice this, the faster and more automatic your brain will become at understanding new words almost instantly. Here is a very powerful technique I want to share with you, one that will dramatically improve your ability to remember new vocabulary. Instead of trying to memorize a word in isolation, always embed it within a little story or a vivid mental picture. For instance, don't just learn the word frail. Take a moment to imagine an old rickety wooden bridge over a river. See the broken planks, feel the wobble as you imagine stepping onto it, and feel the sense of caution. That detailed picture, that sensory experience, will be etched into your memory far more effectively than any dictionary definition. Let's try this with a longer practice passage now. Please listen carefully as I read. When the power went out during the thunderstorm, Sophie felt an abrupt wave of anxiety. But then she remembered the candles in the kitchen drawer, and a sense of calm returned. The new word here might be abrupt. Let's deduce its meaning from the story. The power went out suddenly during a storm. Sophie's feeling of anxiety appeared right at that moment. So the wave of anxiety wasn't slow or gradual, it was sudden and unexpected. That's what abrupt means. It means sudden and unexpected. Repeat it with me. Abrupt means sudden and unexpected. Now, I invite you to say the entire sentence again, out loud. She felt an abrupt wave of anxiety. As you say it, notice how your mind instinctively connects that feeling of sudden shock to the word itself. That is the very definition of building vocabulary naturally. Let's try another one. The manager decided to commend the team for their outstanding performance on the project. The new word here is commend. The sentence tells us about a manager, a team, and their outstanding, which means excellent performance. What does a manager typically do in such a situation? She offers praise and expresses approval, so a commend must mean to praise formally or to express approval. Let's repeat that together. Commend means to praise. Then, say the full sentence. The manager decided to commend the team for their hard work. Wonderful job. The real secret to mastering a vast vocabulary is not about cramming endless word lists into your brain. It's about consistent, meaningful practice. You need to encounter words within real-life contexts, again and again. This is precisely why engaging activities like listening to podcasts, reading books, and speaking with others are so incredibly important. They provide your brain with thousands of natural opportunities to observe patterns, absorb new words, and solidify their meanings without conscious effort. As we continue our journey today, I will provide you with even more examples, more exercises, and more little stories that will help you strengthen this essential skill. And by the end of our session, you will come to realize that you no longer have to be afraid of unknown words. Instead, you can welcome them as exciting opportunities for growth and discovery. Sometimes, when learners encounter a new word, their brain immediately puts up a wall. They think to themselves, I don't know this specific word, therefore I cannot possibly understand the meaning of this entire sentence. But I'm here to tell you that this is simply not true. You do not always need to know the precise, dictionary perfect definition of every single word to grasp the overall idea of a sentence or a conversation. In fact, native English speakers do this all the time. When they read complex academic texts or listen to someone discussing a technical subject, they frequently encounter words they don't know, but they don't freeze. They use their intuition and the surrounding context to get the general meaning, the feeling, and the purpose of the word, and they keep moving forward. What matters most is understanding the main idea. Let me give you a clear example. Imagine you come across this sentence in a book. The archaeologist meticulously examined the ancient artifact. Now, let's suppose you don't know the word meticulously. Do you stop and lose the flow of the story? Not at all. You look at the other words. Archaeologist, examined, an ancient artifact. An archaeologist is a person who studies old objects. To examine means to look at something closely. So how would an archaeologist look at an ancient artifact? They would do it very carefully, paying close attention to every tiny detail. Therefore, meticulously must mean in a very careful and precise way. Even if you didn't know that exact definition, your understanding of the sentence would be perfectly correct for the context of the story. That is the true power of using context. Here is a practice exercise for you. I'd like you to say this sentence out loud with me. The archaeologist meticulously examined the ancient artifact. Now, I want you to close your eyes for just a moment and create a mental image of that scene. Picture an archaeologist, perhaps wearing glasses, holding a small brush, bending over a delicate piece of pottery, studying it with intense focus. That mental movie you just created locks the meaning of meticulously into your brain far more securely than a simple translation ever could. Let's try another one together. After their large meal, they decided to amble through the gardens. Maybe the word amble is new to you. But let's analyze the context. We know they have just had a large meal. They are in a garden. People don't usually sprint or run after eating a big meal. They tend to walk in a slow, leisurely way to digest their food. So amble must mean to walk at a slow, relaxed pace. Let's say it together. Amble means to walk slowly and in a relaxed way. Now, repeat the full sentence. They decided to amble through the gardens. Can you feel the calm, peaceful mood of that word? That feeling is how you learn deeply without a dictionary. This method is applicable everywhere in your daily life. If you are watching a movie and you hear a character exclaim, "I was flabbergasted by his decision," you don't need a dictionary. From the character's shocked expression and surprised tone of voice, you can easily infer that flabbergasted must mean extremely surprised or astonished. You guessed it correctly. Now repeat with me. Flabbergasted means amazed or astonished. Let's practice more with short stories because stories provide such rich and memorable context. Listen carefully to this little narrative. When the torrential rain finally abated, the children eagerly ran outside to jump in the puddles. Which word in that sentence might be new? Perhaps abated. Now let's think like detectives. The rain was described as torrential, which means very heavy. The sentence says the rain finally abated, and immediately after, the children ran outside. They wouldn't run outside if it were still raining heavily, so it must mean that the rain stopped or became less intense, and that is precisely right. Abated means to become less intense or to stop. Repeat it with me. Abated means to stop or become less intense. Now, say the whole sentence. The torrential rain finally abated. Your brain remembers this word because you have connected it to the joyful image of children running outside to play after a storm. Here's another short story for you. Although the old wooden chest looked mundane, inside it contained a priceless heirloom. Maybe the word mundane is new for you. The sentence sets up a contrast with the word although. It looked mundane on the outside, but on the inside, it held something priceless, which means extremely valuable. So, mundane must be the opposite of special or valuable. It must mean ordinary, dull, or not interesting. Yes, mundane means ordinary. Repeat with me. Mundane means ordinary. Then say the sentence. The old wooden chest looked mundane. The wonderful thing about this type of practice is that you are training your mind to become incredibly flexible and resilient. You no longer freeze when you encounter a new word. Instead, you can smile and think to yourself, okay, a new puzzle. Let me play detective. And every time you make a guess, even if it's not 100% perfect, you are strengthening your comprehension skills and building your long-term memory. Now, let's engage in some shadowing practice, where you will repeat after me slowly and clearly. I will give you a sentence containing a new word. First, just listen, then repeat it. Are you ready? The first sentence is, the lost kitten was quivering in the cold alley. Now repeat with me. The lost kitten was quivering in the cold alley. What do you think quivering means here? Let's think. We have a lost kitten, and it's cold. What does a small animal do when it is cold and scared? It shakes slightly. So quivering means to tremble or shake with a slight rapid motion. Very good. Here's the next one. She murmured a few words of comfort to her upset friend. Repeat with me. She murmured a few words of comfort to her upset friend. What does murmured mean? Yes, from the context of comforting an upset friend, it means to speak in a very low, quiet voice. Murmur. Try saying the word very softly right now. Murmur. That physical act helps you remember. Next one. The toddler clutched her teddy bear tightly as she fell asleep. Repeat with me. The toddler clutched her teddy bear tightly as she fell asleep. What does clutched mean? The sentence gives us a huge clue with the word tightly. It means to grasp or hold something tightly. Yes, say it again. Clutched means held tightly. Do you see how natural and intuitive this process is becoming? You are not memorizing isolated words from a list. You are experiencing them, feeling them, and practicing them within the context of meaningful sentences. This is precisely how native speakers continue to grow their vocabulary throughout their entire lives, often without ever consciously thinking about it. Let me share another simple but incredibly effective trick with you. When you encounter a new word, don't just think about its definition. Take a moment to imagine a situation from your own life where you could use that word. For example, we just learned the word amble. You could take a moment to picture yourself ambling through a park near your home. You could imagine ambling along a beach during a vacation, or ambling through a quiet street in your neighborhood on a Sunday morning. This personal connection transforms the word from something abstract into a part of your own lived experience, making it almost impossible to forget. Let's do a little life connection practice right now. Think about your day yesterday. Did you amble anywhere? Perhaps you walked slowly to a local shop, or maybe you took a slow walk in your garden after dinner. Now, try to describe it to yourself in a simple English sentence. Yesterday, I ambled to the market. Good. Or maybe I ambled through the park with my dog. Can you feel how much more real and personal the word feels now? That is precisely when learning becomes permanent. We are going to go even deeper very soon, exploring strategies to unlock longer and more complex words. But for now, please remember this fundamental principle. Every single word gives you hints. The sentence, the story, the emotions, the situation, all of them are like little arrows pointing directly toward the meaning. And your amazing brain, with just a little bit of practice, is learning to see those arrows and follow them with confidence. One of the most powerful skills you can develop as an advanced English learner is the ability to recognize word families. A vast number of words in English are interconnected, sharing a common root or a small base part that carries a core meaning. Once you learn one word from a family, you can often make very accurate guesses about the meanings of many other words that look and sound similar. This is another fantastic way to understand new vocabulary without constantly relying on a dictionary. For example, let's consider the word happy. You almost certainly know this word. Now, if you encounter the word happiness, what do you think it means? Of course, it means the state or feeling of being happy. And what if you see the word unhappy? The prefix un often means not. So unhappy means not happy. And what about happily? That dash-ly ending often tells us it's an adverb describing how something is done. So he smiled happily. Just from that one simple root, happy, you can effortlessly understand 3 or more related words. That is how your vocabulary can grow exponentially, not just one word at a time. Let's practice with another common root, the word act. If you know that act means to do something, then you can easily guess that an action is the thing that is done. An actor is the person who does the acting, and active means characterized by action or doing something, not being still. All of these words are part of the same family. You didn't need a dictionary for any of them. Now, let's repeat them after me slowly to train your brain to recognize the pattern. Act, action, actor, active. Can you feel the connection between them? Can you sense their shared DNA? Good. This pattern is absolutely everywhere in the English language, and once you start to consciously notice it, you can learn dozens of new words from just a single root you already know. Here is a small exercise for you. I will give you a base word, and I want you to take a moment and think of other words in its family. Are you ready? The base word is create. Take a second. What other words come to your mind? Yes, there's creation, the thing that is created. There's creative, which describes someone who is good at creating things. There's creativity, which is the quality of being creative. And there's the creator, the person who creates. All of these are deeply connected to the root word, create. You understood them all without opening a single dictionary, simply by recognizing the family resemblance. Let's do another one together. The base word is move. What forms can we make from this word? There's movement, the act of moving. There's removable, meaning something can be moved away. There's movie, which is short for moving picture. And there's a mover, the person who helps you move your furniture. Again, they are all connected. This clearly shows you that words are not isolated islands. They are part of a large, extended family. And when you meet a new family member, you can often guess its identity because of its resemblance to the relatives you already know. Now, let's shift our focus to the specific context clues that you can find inside sentences. There are generally 4 common types of clues that sentences provide to help you understand new words. First, sometimes the sentence gives you a direct explanation or a definition. For example, he is a polyglot, which means he can speak many languages. The phrase, which means, directly tells you the definition of polyglot. Second, sometimes the sentence provides you with examples. For instance, she loves to cook with various herbs, such as basil, rosemary, and thyme. Even if you didn't know the word herbs, the examples of basil, rosemary, and thyme would tell you that it refers to plants used in cooking. Third, sometimes the sentence contrasts the new word with something familiar. For example, unlike his gregarious sister, Liam was shy and introverted. If you know that shy and introverted mean quiet and reserved, then gregarious must mean the opposite. It must describe someone who is sociable and friendly. Fourth, sometimes the sentence conveys a feeling or a mood that explains the word. For example, she slammed the door in a fit of rage. Even if the word slammed is new to you, the mood of rage, which means intense anger, tells you that it must mean to shut the door very hard and loudly. Let's practice identifying some of these clues together. Here is the first one. He felt jubilant after receiving the promotion he had worked so hard for. What do you think jubilant means? Let's look for the clue. The clue is receiving the promotion he had worked so hard for. This is very good news. So, jubilant must mean feeling or expressing great happiness and triumph. Let's say it together. Jubilant means very happy. Excellent. Here's another one. The forest was tranquil, with only the soft chirping of birds and the gentle rustle of leaves in the breeze. The word is tranquil. Think about the atmosphere being described. Soft chirping, gentle rustle. It creates a feeling of peace and quiet. So tranquil must mean calm and peaceful. Say it with me. Tranquil means calm and peaceful. Now repeat the full sentence out loud and try to feel that sense of peace. Let's try one more. He was reluctant to go to the party, unlike his friends who were all very eager to attend. What does reluctant mean? The clue here is the contrast word unlike, which compares him to his eager friends. If they were eager, meaning they really wanted to go, then he must have felt the opposite. So reluctant must mean unwilling or not wanting to do something. Yes, that's it. Say it with me. Reluctant means not willing. Fantastic job. These little exercises might seem simple on the surface, but they are incredibly effective at training your mind. You are teaching it to stop searching for a direct translation and to start searching for clues and hints within the English text itself. Every single time you do this, you are strengthening the neural pathways in your brain that allow you to think directly in English. Now let's practice with a short story for shadowing. Please repeat after me, slowly and clearly. Chloe hesitated for a moment before answering the difficult question. She was unsure of how to phrase her response. Finally, she gathered her courage and began to speak. Which word in that passage is new? Perhaps hesitated. From the story, we can guess its meaning. She paused before speaking because she was unsure. So hesitated means to pause before doing or saying something, often because of uncertainty. Yes, that's exactly right. Say it again with me. Chloe hesitated before answering. Now try to act it out physically. Imagine someone asks you a question. Pause. Look thoughtful. Maybe take a small breath and then speak. That physical action helps to cement the word in your mind. Here's another practice story. The downtown market was bustling with activity as vendors called out to customers and shoppers hurried from stall to stall. The word here is bustling. From the description in the sentence, you can imagine a very busy, energetic, and lively scene. So, bustling means full of busy activity. Repeat with me. Bustling means busy and full of energy. Now say the whole sentence. The downtown market was bustling with activity. Very good. One more. The child was enthralled by the magician's performance, watching every trick with wide-eyed wonder. Which word is new? Yes, enthralled. Let's look at the clues. The child had wide-eyed wonder while watching the magician. This tells us the child was completely captivated and amazed. So, enthralled means to be fascinated or completely absorbed by something. Say it with me. Enthralled means amazed and very interested. Then, say the full sentence. The child was enthralled by the magician's performance. By practicing like this, you are slowly but surely teaching your brain to pay attention to the subtle details in language and to connect those details to meaning. This is how you can learn any new word you encounter without needing a dictionary every single time. Now, let's explore one of the most powerful types of details you can notice: the world of emotion. Another truly profound way to understand words without a dictionary is to connect them directly to human feelings. Almost every significant word in the English language carries a certain emotional weight, a specific feeling or color. And your brain, as a human brain, is naturally and incredibly adept at recognizing and interpreting those feelings as long as you pay conscious attention to them. For example, listen to this sentence. She was absolutely thrilled to finally receive an invitation to the prestigious event. Even if the word thrilled is entirely new to you, you can feel its energy from the sentence. The context of receiving an invitation to a prestigious or important event is a very positive one. She is not just happy. She is more than happy. There's a sense of excitement, a buzz of energy. So, thrilled must mean extremely happy or excited. Let's say that together. Thrilled means very, very excited. Now I want you to take a moment and imagine yourself receiving some wonderful, unexpected news. Maybe you won a competition, or you got a dream job offer. Feel that rush of excitement in your chest. Now with that feeling, repeat the sentence again. I was absolutely thrilled. Can you feel how that emotion breathes life into the word? It makes the word an experience, not just a definition. And experiences are what our brains are built to remember. Let's practice with an opposing emotion. He was utterly devastated when he learned that his beloved pet had gone missing. The word here is devastated. Notice the powerful emotional tone. The situation is the opposite of thrilling. It is deeply sad. His pet, whom he loved, is missing. This isn't just a little bit of sadness. The word utterly tells us it's a complete and total feeling. So devastated must mean extremely sad, heartbroken, or emotionally crushed. Let's say it together. Devastated means extremely sad and heartbroken. Now, as you say the sentence, try to feel the weight of that heavy emotion. He was devastated when he learned the news. This method works so beautifully because our emotions are one of the most powerful triggers for our memory. When you tie a new word to a strong, genuine feeling, your brain forges a deep and lasting connection. That is why stories, movies, and real, heartfelt conversations are such excellent language teachers. They are filled with a rich tapestry of emotions that carry the vocabulary deep into the core of your memory. Now, let's do a little role-playing exercise together. I will give you a short scene, and I want you to repeat the sentence after me while actively trying to feel the specific emotion contained within it. Are you ready? Here is the first one. Daniel was anxious about his upcoming job interview. Now, repeat after me slowly. Daniel was anxious about his upcoming job interview. The word is anxious, which means feeling worried, nervous, or uneasy about something with an uncertain outcome. Can you remember a time in your life when you felt anxious? Perhaps it was before a big exam or before giving a speech in front of many people. I want you to recall that feeling in your body. Maybe a tightness in your stomach or your hands feeling a bit shaky. Connect that physical memory to this sentence. Now, the word anxious belongs to you. It's part of your experience. Let's try another role play. When she finally held her newborn baby for the first time, she was overcome with a feeling of pure bliss. Repeat that after me. She was overcome with a feeling of pure bliss. Bliss means perfect happiness or great joy. It's a serene, beautiful feeling. As you say the word, feel that sense of profound, peaceful joy inside your body. Smile as you repeat it. A feeling of pure bliss. This exercise is so powerful because it helps you not only to understand the word intellectually, but also to embody it emotionally and physically. And once your mind and body both understand a word, you will never need a dictionary to remind you of its meaning. Now, let's move into another closely related and equally important skill. Noticing synonyms and antonyms as they appear in real situations. Synonyms, as you may know, are words that have similar meanings, while antonyms are words with opposite meanings. If you already know one word in a pair, you can often guess the meaning of the other. For example, you certainly know the word big. So if you hear someone describe a building as huge or enormous, you can logically guess that these are synonyms for big. On the other hand, if you hear them describe it as tiny or minuscule, you can guess that these are antonyms, meaning the opposite. Let's practice this with some full sentences. The comedy show was absolutely hilarious. The entire audience was roaring with laughter. What could hilarious mean? The clue is that everyone roared with laughter. This tells us it must mean something more than just funny. It must mean extremely funny. So hilarious is a strong synonym for funny. Here's another one. The skyscraper was so gigantic that it seemed to touch the clouds. Gigantic is clearly similar to big, but the description of touching the clouds tells us it means something much bigger. So gigantic means extremely large or enormous. Now let's look at an example with an antonym. The main road was bustling with traffic, but the narrow side street was completely deserted. The word but signals a contrast. We already learned that bustling means busy and full of activity. So, deserted must mean the exact opposite. It must mean empty of people. See how easy that is when you pay attention to clue words like but, unlike, or in contrast. Let's try a little synonym-antonym game together. Repeat these sentences after me and use the clues to guess the meanings. The soup was scalding when it first came from the kitchen, so I had to wait a few minutes for it to cool down. What does scalding mean? The clue is that it had to cool down. So, scalding must mean very, very hot. Excellent. Here is the next one. Her room is always immaculate, but his is perpetually messy. Immaculate and messy are presented as opposites by the word but. If messy means untidy, then immaculate must mean perfectly clean, neat, and tidy. Yes. Now, the next one. He gave a very concise explanation, while she tended to be quite verbose. Concise and verbose are contrasted here. If a concise explanation is short and clear, then verbose must mean using more words than are needed, wordy. This technique is remarkably powerful because many natural conversations and written texts are built on comparisons and contrasts. If you simply train your ear and your eye to notice them, you can learn a huge number of new words automatically, almost without trying. Now let's do some more shadowing practice, weaving together these new ideas. Please repeat these sentences slowly and clearly after me, and as you do, try to feel the word's meaning. The child was drowsy after a long day of playing and soon fell into a deep sleep. Drowsy means sleepy or lethargic. The festival was vibrant with colorful decorations and lively music everywhere. Vibrant means full of energy and life. She was extremely cautious as she walked along the icy pavement. Cautious means careful to avoid potential danger. By repeating, feeling, and connecting these words to their context, you are engaging in real, effective vocabulary training that builds your independence from the dictionary. Another wonderful tip that works incredibly well is to actively use your immediate surroundings. When you are walking down the street, sitting in a park, or even just looking around your own home, try to name the things you see in English. If you don't know the exact word for something, don't give up. Instead, describe it using the words you do know. This simple act primes your brain to recognize the word when you eventually encounter it. For example, if you don't know the word bench, you might look at it and think to yourself in English, that is a long seat for many people in the park. Later, when you hear or read the word bench, your brain will instantly make the connection because you've already created a mental space for it. Let's practice this description method together right now. I will give you the name of an object, and I want you to try and describe it in a simple English sentence without translating it. The first word is kettle. How would you describe it? You might say, it's the thing you use to boil water for tea or coffee. Perfect. Now, the word ladder. How could you describe a ladder? You could say, it's the tool with steps that you climb to reach high places. Excellent. Let's try one more. Mirror. Describe a mirror. You might say, it's the piece of glass that you look into to see your own reflection. Very good. Do you see what you just did? You defined 3 words perfectly without using a single word of translation. That is exactly how your brain is designed to learn a language naturally, by connecting words to concepts, objects, and actions, not to other words in another language. Sometimes, a single vivid picture created in your mind can explain a word more powerfully and memorably than any dictionary definition ever could. When you hear or read a new word, practice the technique of visualization. Consciously create a small mental movie scene around that word. This technique makes the learning process faster and much more enjoyable. For example, let's take the word wander. If you read the sentence, he wandered through the ancient forest for hours. What do you imagine? You probably see a person walking slowly without a specific destination or a clear path, just exploring and enjoying the scenery. That simple mental picture immediately shows you that wander means to walk or move in a leisurely or aimless way. Now repeat the sentence after me. He wandered through the ancient forest for hours. As you say it, imagine yourself in that quiet, beautiful forest, walking without any rush, just listening to the birds. Here's another example. The children scampered across the lawn to get to the ice cream truck. If the word scampered is new to you, just close your eyes for a second and imagine little children running. They don't run like adults in a straight line. They run quickly, lightly, and playfully. That image perfectly captures the meaning of the word. Scampered means to run with quick, light steps, especially out of excitement or fear. Say it with me. The children scampered across the lawn. Feel their joyful, chaotic energy as you repeat the sentence. Visualization also works beautifully with words that describe feelings or actions. Imagine this sentence. She glared at him from across the room after he made the rude comment. The word is glared. If you take a moment to picture her face, you can probably see her eyes narrowed, her expression angry, and her stare intense and unbroken. That image instantly tells you that glared means to stare in an angry or fierce way. Now, say the sentence. She glared at him. Try to make that expression with your own face for a moment to feel the intensity of the word. Now, let's practice a little series of these together. I want you to repeat these sentences after me while you simultaneously create the action in your mind. The first one. The baby crawled across the soft carpet. Crawled means to move forward on the hands and knees. Picture a little baby doing just that. Next, the athlete leaped over the final hurdle to win the race. Leaped means to jump a long way or with great force. Imagine that powerful soaring motion. The next one. The dry leaves rustled as the wind blew through the trees. Rustled means to make a soft, crackling sound. Try to hear that gentle sound in your mind as you say the word. Each time you say a new word and pair it with a mental image, sound, or feeling, you are anchoring it more deeply in your memory. Another incredibly powerful trick is to start noticing the small building blocks of words, prefixes and suffixes. These are little parts that are added to the beginning, prefixes or end suffixes of words to change their meaning in predictable ways. If you learn to recognize these parts, you can often guess the meaning of a complex word without ever having to look it up. For example, the prefix un very often means not. If you know the word comfortable, then it's easy to understand that uncomfortable means not comfortable. If you know happy, then unhappy means not happy. If you know certain, then uncertain means not certain. It's a simple pattern, but it is unbelievably effective. Suffixes, the parts at the end of a word, work in the exact same way. For instance, the suffix dasher or dasher often means a person who does a particular action. To teach becomes a teacher. To write becomes a writer. To sing becomes a singer. To act becomes an actor. Even if you had never seen the word creator before, if you know the verb create, you could instantly understand that a creator is a person who creates something. Let's practice this pattern recognition skill quickly. What does a driver mean? Yes, it's a person who drives. What does a dancer mean? A person who dances. What does a reader mean? A person who reads. Let's practice with these in some simple sentences. Please shadow me by repeating slowly. The writer published her new novel. You can easily guess that a writer is someone who writes books. The singer performed beautifully on stage. A singer is someone who sings. The builder worked on the construction site all day. A builder is someone who builds things. Do you see the clear and simple pattern? You don't need a dictionary to explain this to you. Your own brain can see the logic. By noticing these patterns, you can understand dozens of new words just from learning a single suffix. Another extremely helpful suffix is -ness, which is often used to change an adjective into a noun that represents a state or quality. For example, the adjective happy becomes the noun happiness. The adjective sad becomes the noun sadness. The adjective dark becomes the noun darkness. Now you can guess the meaning of new words that follow this pattern even if you are seeing them for the very first time. Happiness means the state of being happy. Sadness means the state of being sad. Let's practice with this. Her kindness made everyone feel welcome. Kindness comes from the adjective kind. It is the quality of being kind. The darkness of the cave made him feel nervous. Darkness comes from the adjective dark. It is the state of being dark. The sweetness of the ripe mango was incredible. Sweetness comes from the adjective sweet. It is the quality of being sweet. Each time you meet one of these small recurring building blocks in English, you are effectively unlocking the language step by step. It's like being given a secret key that can open hundreds of different doors all at once. Now let's bring this skill back into a real-life situation. Imagine you are shopping online and you see a product description that says the item is refundable. Even if you have never seen that specific word before, you can break it down. You might know the word refund, which means to get your money back, and you might recognize the suffix -able, which means can be done. So, refundable must mean that it is possible to get a refund for this item. You didn't need to check a dictionary. You just solved the puzzle using the pieces you already knew. Isn't that an amazing feeling? This technique makes learning English feel less like a daunting task and more like a playful and engaging game. Each unknown word becomes a small mystery you have the power to solve, and every clue you find makes you a more confident and capable English speaker. Now let's talk about the mindset of a true word detective. A detective is not afraid of uncertainty. In fact, they embrace it. They understand that every investigation involves making educated guesses or hypotheses based on the available evidence. Sometimes those guesses are right, and sometimes they are wrong. The key is that even a wrong guess can lead you closer to the truth. The same principle applies to you as a language learner. As you become more skilled at guessing meanings from context, you will become more confident. But at first you might worry, what if I guess wrong? This is a very common and understandable fear. But I want to help you reframe this fear today. I want you to see that guessing is not dangerous. It is the very skill that native speakers use unconsciously every single day. And when you do guess incorrectly, it is not a failure. It is a powerful learning opportunity. Think about it this way. Even native speakers do not know every single word in the English language. When they read highly specialized scientific papers or dense historical documents, they constantly encounter unfamiliar terminology. But do they stop and run to a dictionary for every single one? Absolutely not. They read the entire sentence. They absorb the meaning from the surrounding context. They make a quick mental guess, and they continue on. If their guess was correct, the rest of the paragraph will make sense. If their guess was wrong, the following sentences will feel strange or contradictory, and their brain will automatically go back and adjust its initial interpretation. This process of guessing and self-correcting is the very engine of natural vocabulary acquisition. That is precisely what you are training your own brain to do. Let's practice this mindset with a few clear examples. Imagine you read this sentence. The scientist unveiled a groundbreaking discovery in her field. If the word groundbreaking is new to you, the most important clue is the word discovery. A discovery is, by its nature, something new. If a scientist is unveiling it, it's likely very important. So, groundbreaking probably means something very new, revolutionary, and important. Let's say that together. A groundbreaking discovery. Here's another one. The artist quickly sketched the outline of the portrait before beginning to paint. If sketched is a new word, look at the context. We have an artist, an outline, and the act of painting. An outline is the first rough drawing. So, to sketch must mean to draw something quickly and without much detail. Say it with me. The artist sketched the outline. Let's try one more. The hiker trudged wearily through the deep mud on the trail. The word trudged might be new, but look at the powerful clues. A hiker moving wearily, which means tiredly through deep mud. Walking through deep mud is not easy or fast. It's slow and requires a lot of effort. So trudged must mean to walk slowly and with heavy steps, typically because of exhaustion or difficult conditions. Say it with me now. The hiker trudged through the mud. In each of these cases, you guess the meaning correctly without ever needing to translate. Now, let's explore a story where you can practice this skill. It was raining heavily outside. People hurried down the street under their colorful umbrellas. One young man dashed into a small, cozy cafe, dripping water all over the floor mat. He ordered a steaming hot chocolate and sighed with immense relief. Which words in this little story could be new? Perhaps dashed and sighed. But you know the meanings from the story's flow. He was in the heavy rain and wanted to get inside, so he dashed, which must mean he moved very quickly. After he was safe and warm inside with a hot drink, he sighed with relief. You can almost feel that action in your own body. A long, deep breath out that expresses comfort and relaxation. You did not need a dictionary to figure this out. The story gave you everything you needed. Repeat these sentences slowly with me. He dashed into a cozy cafe. He sighed with immense relief. Can you picture it all clearly in your mind? That vivid picture is what makes the words yours forever. Here's another story. The university library was completely silent. Students were hunched over their textbooks, preparing for their exams. Suddenly, someone in the corner sneezed loudly, breaking the silence. A few of the students looked up and chuckled quietly before returning to their books. The word sneezed might be new, but you almost certainly know that sound. The word chuckled might also be new. But think about the situation. After a sudden loud sneeze in a silent library, it's common for people to have a small, quiet laugh. So, chuckled must mean to laugh quietly. Let's say it together. Everyone chuckled quietly. Now, repeat it again, but this time actually make a small, quiet laugh yourself. Feel the emotion of the word. This is how natural, intuitive learning works. Your brain absolutely loves stories. It loves emotions, and it loves pictures. This is precisely why engaging with authentic materials like books, movies, and conversations is infinitely more effective for building your vocabulary than simply memorizing dry word lists. Word lists are dead. Stories are alive. Now let's engage in some more focused shadowing practice. Please repeat these sentences after me, and for each one, try to imagine the action. She whispered the secret into his ear. Whispered means to speak very quietly, using your breath. He slammed the door shut in anger. Slammed means to shut something forcefully and loudly. The small child crawled across the floor to reach her toy. Crawled means to move on your hands and knees. The telephone rang suddenly in the quiet room. Rang means it made its characteristic sound. Each of these action words is simple to understand if you just visualize the action it describes. Another powerful practice is to actively play with opposites. If you know one side of a coin, you can often guess the other. For example, you know hot, so you can easily understand cold. You know tall, so you understand short. Let's apply this to more advanced vocabulary. The water in the pot was boiling. Boiling means extremely hot. So if you later hear the sentence, "The weather outside is freezing," you can logically deduce that freezing means extremely cold. Let's repeat them both with me. The water was boiling, the air was freezing. Do you see how knowing one word helps you instantly understand its opposite? Let's apply this to some active daily life practice. Imagine you are telling a friend about your day. You might say, "By the end of my long workday, I was completely exhausted." Exhausted means extremely tired. The next morning, you might say, "After a good night's sleep, I felt very energetic." Energetic means full of energy. These are opposites. Say them both with me. Exhausted. Energetic. Your brain naturally connects them as a pair. Another fascinating activity is to notice the patterns in sound itself. Many words in English that describe sounds actually sound like the thing they are describing. This is called onomatopoeia. For example, the word buzz sounds like the noise a bee or a telephone on vibrate makes. The word bang is a sharp, loud sound, just like the word itself. The word crash sounds like something breaking, and the word whisper sounds soft and breathy, just like the action itself. Let's repeat these words and listen to their sounds. Buzz, bang, crash, whisper. When you say them, pay attention to how your mouth makes the sound. The word itself is teaching you its meaning. Now, let's place them in sentences for practice. Repeat after me. The phone buzzed on the table. The door banged shut. The glass crashed to the floor. She whispered my name. Can you hear the sound in your mind as you repeat each sentence? That is sound-based learning, and it's a wonderfully natural way to acquire new vocabulary. You have seen how context, how feelings, how sounds, actions, and patterns all work together in harmony to guide you toward a word's meaning. Every sentence is like a fascinating little puzzle. And when you learn to slow down, to notice the clues, and to connect them with your powerful imagination, the meaning almost always becomes clear. Think back for a moment on everything we have practiced together so far. You have learned how to use the narrative of a story to guess the meaning of words. You have learned how prefixes and suffixes can unlock the meaning of entire word families. You have discovered how synonyms, antonyms, and even the sounds of words can provide you with essential clues. You have practiced shadowing sentences, connecting words to deep emotions, and even acting them out with your body. With every single one of these exercises, you have been training your brain to trust itself more. You've been teaching it to stop the slow, inefficient process of translation, to stop panicking when it sees something new, and to start thinking directly and creatively in English. This is a profound mental shift, and it does not happen overnight. It grows slowly and steadily like a strong tree. Every time you hear or read a new word, you are faced with two choices. You can choose the old way, stop, feel a wave of frustration, and immediately reach for your dictionary. Or you can choose the new way. You can smile, take a calm breath, and say to yourself, "Okay, let me be a detective. Let me discover the meaning." If you choose this second option, again and again and again, your brain will become stronger, faster, and more intuitive. Soon, words that once seemed frightening and foreign will feel familiar and natural. Let's do one more story together before we finish our session today. A story that brings many of these ideas together. Listen carefully. The storm raged outside throughout the night. The window panes rattled in their frames. The tall trees in the garden swayed violently in the wind, and the thunder boomed in the distance. But when the morning came, the sky was perfectly calm and beautifully clear. Which words in that story might be new for you, perhaps rattled, swayed, and boomed? But I am certain you already understand them. What sound do window panes make in a strong wind? They make a shaking noise. That is rattled. How do trees move in a storm? They move back and forth. That is swayed. And what kind of sound does thunder make? It makes a deep, loud, resonant sound. That is boomed. Without a single moment of translation, you understood all three of those new words. Now, let's repeat those sentences together slowly. And as we do, I want you to build the scene in your mind. The window panes rattled. The tall trees swayed. The thunder boomed. Feel the power of the storm in the story. See the images. Hear the sounds. When you do this, the words will never leave your memory. This is the path to continuous growth. Read something in English every single day. Listen to something in English every single day. And most importantly, notice things every single day. Don't feel the need to rush to translate every unfamiliar word. Instead, pause. Look at the clues that surround it. And let your incredible brain do the work it was designed to do. It is far, far smarter than you think. And the more you learn to trust it, the faster your journey to fluency will be. Now, I want you to make a commitment to practice this, even after our podcast ends. Tonight or tomorrow, when you are reading something in English, I want you to find one new word and try to guess its meaning purely from the context. Don't open your dictionary right away. Instead, take a notebook and write down your guess. Then continue reading for a few more paragraphs. Later, you can go back and confirm the meaning if you wish. This simple habit, practiced consistently, will train you to become a truly independent and confident learner. Step by step, day by day, your vocabulary will expand organically and naturally. And please, always remember, fluency is not just about the number of words you know. It is about confidence. It is about trusting your own mind and your own thinking process. Each and every time you successfully understand a new word on your own, you build a little bit more of that self-trust. And when you feel stronger and more confident, you speak with more ease and more joy. That is how true fluency grows. Through consistent practice, through self-trust, and through the joy of discovery. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I truly hope you have enjoyed practicing, guessing, repeating, and imagining with me. If you have found this extended lesson helpful and empowering, please make sure you are subscribed to English in Advance and press the bell icon so you never miss a new lesson from us. We are here every single day to help you become more confident and capable in English, step by step. Before we part, I want you to take a moment and repeat this powerful promise to yourself. Say it with me. I can understand new words. I can trust my own mind. I can become fluent. Let's say it one more time, slowly and with conviction. I can understand. I can trust. I can become fluent. Please carry this promise with you as you continue on your beautiful English learning journey. So keep listening, keep repeating, keep noticing, and very soon you will discover that English is not a frightening list of words to be memorized, but a living, breathing language that you can explore and enjoy every single day. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next lesson.